Hi, good morning. It's Tanny the Canadian Stamper. We're crafting. It's Saturday morning. Good grief. I am back from being away for a month. I was sick at the beginning of July, and then if you've been following along, you saw that we were in Ireland for about 3 weeks, and we're just back last Saturday. So I was doing some live updates from there. So we're going to use this spooky Halloween like the bundle today. I'm not going to use all the sweet. So with Stampin' Up! Stuff, you can buy a bundle, which is a stamp set and die, and you save 10%, or a stamp set and a punch, and you save 10%. But then there's a suite, which is you get the stamp, the whatever tool to cut it out, and you get designer series paper, DSP. I'm going to show you something fancy about this new designer series paper that Stampin' Up! Seems to be doing. It's a game changer. And you can, and then get an embellishment and a ribbon. And this one, this suite for the spooky Halloween has some holographic bags, kind of. So I have some stuff to share with you about the suite so you can see all the things we're working with. And then the card I'm casing something similar to is from Bright Sight. I don't actually know where they're from or who it is, but I'll have to check it out afterwards. So let's get crafting. The craft and chat is also today. Usually it's the first Saturday of the month, but since we were away, we did it. It's going to be today. So I will see some of you later today, which is, well, in about an hour, I suppose. I'm just trying to get my screen to be closer. Spooky Halloween. That's what it is. So we're going to use this little guy. We're going to Frankenstein, Puppy Frankenstein. I think this one's a kitty cat. It comes with matching dies. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to store your dies. Then I've got some things stamped for you. And then this is our project. So let me bring up comments. So today, in today's project, there's going to be some fun ways to do the layers. That's what I'm after today. So thanks for following along. When you're putting your stamps in here, these are photopolymer, make sure to just give them a rub, because there's a film on it, and we don't want the film because it prevents us from being able to pick up the ink. So here's two ways to store your dies. If you have a printer, put the dies on your printer and just photocopy it. And then I cut it and I put it in the sleeve. If you have a printer, I do this for all the dies, especially the ones that have little bits and pieces. If you do not have a printer, obviously I do this because so I know if I'm missing any dies. A couple of the crafty ladies, Pam, I don't know if you're on here, Pam. I need to bring up the comments, but she takes a pencil and just traces around the outside of each. Before you take any of them off, just trace around the outside, and then you know where they go back. So that's another option if you either don't have a printer or you don't want to print. So that's that. A couple of tips right out. What do you guys think of my photos from Ireland if you saw them? I hope you enjoyed them. The photos just really don't do it justice, of course. Okay, so here's so this is one stamp, another stamp. You only get one each of these, but I just stamped two. There's die cuts for both the pumpkin and the broom. And so you can put the broom or you could take this little pumpkin and you could put it here instead of this black one, and just add a little mini dimensional to pop it up to give some interest. And then these are your different sentiments. This one, Happy Halloween, No Tricks, All Treats, and then Spooky. And then here's our die cut pieces, some of them. So the bats, which are in one piece, that's these ones, and there's one die, and then it pops out two bats. You get to cut out both of the you can cut two pumpkins at a time, and then this little house, which is super cool. We're going to do some coloring to sort of bring the house to life. And then you've got a fence, which of course you can cut multiples of the fences to sort of give a look and do different things in different colors. Then there's this really, excuse me, interesting die. I'm almost with your, there I am. Geez, I'm so far away. So what you want to do with the, with this die, because it popped out like that, and I thought, well, what the heck are you supposed to do with this? But there's score lines here. So you go like this, and then the bat pops up. So you could make little bookmarks, or sometimes if you make a card and it's got like a pocket or a sleeve, you could glue this to whatever piece is going to pull out, and then use it kind of as like a pull tab with your spooky bat. So that's a fun, I think you could even just chop this piece right off, and you could use it as an element. So in behind one of your sentiments, and mount the sentiment on top, and then you've got the bat in behind. So that's fun. And then here's our other little die cut pieces. So our cat, and then this is our Frankenstein, which I've colored him already for today's project. And then we're gonna use a little broom as well. So those are all the dies that go in it. So that's the bundle. And when you bundle, you get 10% off. Oh, hi friends, I see your comments now. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. What can I tell you? Well, first I'm going to finish telling you about what's in this suite, and then I'm going to tell you about Ireland. Okay, so let's put those in here. All right, so here's the other stuff that goes with the suite, if you're into the suite thing. And sometimes I don't buy the stamps or the dies. I only buy the designer series paper. Now, that has served me well in the past because sometimes it's really expensive. I'm just going to flip through the paper so you can see. So this is front and back. So these you can cut out the strips here. You can cut out, you can make the houses, or you could leave it all in one space like that. You could cut these as well. So front and back, that's like a hot pink. This one we're using the other side of this paper for today's project. We've got some, whoops, that's upside down, this way, windows, scary cats and pumpkins and little eyeballs and bats. There's the back. So these ones, if you want to make gift tags, because you have these cello iridescent bags. So this is an easy way to use your trimmer and chop those out, put Happy Halloween and a little hole there with your ribbon, and you have a tag to go with your cellophane bags. So there's front and back. And then this one's pretty funny. It's got, I've never seen a flamingo used before in Halloween stuff, but it's adorable. And this little piggy is adorable as well with his cape on, and a funny little bat. It's just adorable is what it is. That's a nice pop of orange. Now, here's the game changer with the DSP, the designer series paper. Stampin' Up! Has started doing this, and I love it, is you get 2 sheets of images that are already ready to rock and roll, and you pop them out. I don't want to pop them out because then I'll start losing them, but you can get a little cellophane bag, and you can pop all of these out and store them. So you've got a little toucan. This guy is going to be great for a focal point, but they're already colored, die cut, and they all match. What do you think? Do you love it? Give me a thumbs up if you love that Stampin' Up! Has started adding these. Have you noticed how they're being added? So this one's called Spooky Suite 12 by 12. So honestly, you could just get the paper, and you don't necessarily even need, because sometimes people don't do a lot of Halloween cards. So you could do the DSP. Usually it's around $17 to $20 for designer series paper. And you could get the treat bags, and then you could make your little work gifts. Or if your kid has students, I mean, class sizes are pretty big these days, but how many bags do you get in here? 20 bags. So some could have these fancy bags and some could have regular bags. They're really shiny and pretty. I hope it kind of gets that in there. Hi, friends. I see your cut. Morning, Pam, Terry, Robin, and Wendy and Christine, Jan. Good morning, everybody. So here's this ribbon. It's very, it's not stiff. It's very pliable. Is that the word I want to use? Maybe? Pliable? Yeah, makes a nice bow. Makes a nice bow right there. And then these are the gems. They're puffy glitter stars in 3 colors. All right, let's get on with it. Let's get to crafting. All right. I constantly have something in my throat of late. So we're gonna do standard card base. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I really want the screen to be in more. Aha, there we go. I just have to move my fingers just this side of the comments. Measurements will all be in the newsletter tomorrow. Back to our regular scheduled programming with the newsletter. Inside piece here. Now, if you're fancy, you can stamp this and decorate on the inside. Do that before you put that down, of course. And then the layer, typically the first layer is always just 1/4 inch smaller than the base. And then there's this piece, which I don't remember the measurements, 2 1/2 by 4 maybe. Now look at this. This is the die cut house. And it's got these little pieces which just add the dimension and make it look, it just makes it look more interesting. And then we've got our Frankenstein. So I'm going to go over the colors that I used. I've done the prep work, but it's going to be way more fancy, the card will be, than what we have here. These are just the bones. And then this is the Darling Duckling. You could use Daffodil Delight easily. Yeah, all right, so we need this piece because we're going to do some stamping. So here's our colors. We've got Daffodil Delight, a pink, this dark flirty flamingo, that's for his little lollipop. Some Cajun Craze, we're going to use that to add some like candlelight sort of through the windows, I guess. And some gray for a few things, some brown for his pants, and then Granny Apple Green is what I used for to get kind of the Frankenstein color to his face. So the colors don't have to be exact. If you don't have these specific ones, it's like use something close. It's totally fine. I just kind of guessed. I'm not sure. The card that I'm casing, she or he used a different critter. They used the cat. So you can coordinate some of the colors. I think the cat was colored the Calypso Coral, and then the house pieces in the back kind of matched. All right, so, oh, hi, Kate. Is the package of cello bags sold separately? Yes, Jan, they are. What's the number, friend? Not sure what the number is. There's 20 in the bag, but I'm not sure what the product number is. It doesn't say. But you can buy it separately. All right, so I have my little piece of Darling Duckling. I'm just gonna stamp in Memento, straight up, straight down. So if you're gonna color in alcohol your little critter, make sure to use Memento. If you're gonna watercolor, then just use the appropriate ink for whatever it is that, however you're choosing to color. All right, so now I'm going to add some texture to the background, which will be kind of just to give it some interest. It's optional. So the different sentiments that are in this, you could use different ones. I'm just going to use the one that I have mounted, but the other ones will work. Noting that some are kind of stacked taller and the words are bigger, and some of them are a different font size. So just be mindful of that. Now, how this card is going to go is this is going to go in the middle. And what I want to do is just add some interest to the back, to this back designer series paper piece. And I just want to do it on opposing corners, edges, something like that. Oh, hi, Jackie. Good morning. So you could stamp all right on, or we're going to be just stamping off a bit. So I'm going to stick with first generation stamping only. So that's first generation. Second generation is when you don't ink up again and you go down again. I'm not down for that today. I want all first gen. So I'm stamping on my silicone mat, so it's picking up the ink on the back. So we're going to make sure to wipe that off so we don't become an inky mess. All right, Ireland. I recommend it, just like I recommended Italy for last year. If you are interested in traveling and that's your thing, you need to have a car. Well, you don't need to. We traveled around. We did 2,600 kilometers on the rental, and we went to all kinds of places and did all sorts of things, and would not have been possible without the vehicle. So in other parts of Europe, you can do trains and whatnot, but not really an option. So the bigger cities like Dublin and Galway, transit is probably fine, you know, walking around. And we did some day trips to different places. And the landscape is amazing. What else can I say? There's no other way to describe it. It's breathtaking. 100% breathtaking. So I'm going to take out our little stars, and we're going to use the bats as well. So I'm going to clean this. I thought I had another block, but I don't know where it is. So we were gone for 3 weeks, and it was good. It was enough time, I feel like. We're going to use Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to pick up our little stars. And no, I lied to you. We're going to use Daffodil Delight, because I'm going to be using the Daffodil Delight in the behind the house. So we're just still kind of building our layers. This piece, yeah, I'm going to stamp first and then we're going to cut. This doesn't actually even look like I cut it straight. So we went Cliffs of Moher, like just so many different places, and amazing shades of green. The landscape is, you know, created from the Ice Age, and there's a lot of history in Ireland, and dates back to like before the pyramids. And the Ice Age is how a lot of the, or is how the cliffs, magnificent cliffs. I'm going to tell you a story about some of the cliffs. So we went to this place called Inishmore, and Inishmore is, it means big island in Irish. Inishmore. Inish being big, more being island, big island. And so we went, we climbed up this massive whatever to get to the cliffs, and I'm speechless. It is terrifying because I'm afraid of heights, but I'm speechless in that it's just I've never seen anything like it. There's no two ways about it. And so there's a lot of the historical sites in Ireland. It's free to walk around. They're open to the public. Some of the museums actually too are free, and it's I think I mentioned it in a live. It's the OPW, Office of Public Works, and they kind of look after everything, kind of like the CRD here for us in Victoria or Vancouver Island. And so there was a guy walking around, and we were getting ready to leave, and I said, like, what's the emergency plan for this area? And he kind of looked at me, and I said, you know, like if somebody, because there's no railings. I don't know if I mentioned that. There's no railings. It's just like as if this brown thing is the land, and then that's a cliff, several hundred feet to the water. That's it. And he just looked at me and he said, there isn't. He said, if you fall, it's a recovery. That's it. You're not coming back from this. Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm making a total mess. What you should do, just sidebar, to get these accurate, straight, it's too late for me now, but what you're trying to do is just nick the sides. And I've done a terrible job, but I'm gonna have to live with it. So what you wanna do, so find somewhere, maybe not that, so find somewhere here to line up. Maybe I'll go 2 3/4, sure. 2 3/4, and then flip it and go 2 3/4 so you get the right angle. There we go. So if one is to fall, you're not coming back from that. So of course Zach is 17, so although I'm a bit of a worrywart, I'm less concerned. And you know, the moms and dads there with 3, 4, 5, 7. My palms are sweating just even thinking about it, because there's no barrier, there's nothing, but it's magnificent. So one of the photos that I posted was Lance lying down on the rocks, because it's windy, it's very windy, just in general. At times there's no trees on the island at all. There's pockets in Ireland where there's a lot of trees, but for the most part it's just rolling landscape of like nothingness. It's just green and rocks, and it's beautiful. So to get close to the edge, he lied down. Yeah, it's crazy. So that was super cool. They have something in Ireland called the crack, which is not like crack cocaine, but it's like what's the vibe? What's the crack like? Which is like the laughter, the joking, the kind of funness of what's happening. What's the crack about? So we went to a pub called Chennai. The crack was off the charts. And when you go someplace and like up to, like the corner store or somewhere, and you like to buy something, they don't say, "Oh, what can I get you?" or whatever. They say, "You all right? Doing okay? Are you all right?" All the time. And yeah, I'm good. Or the other thing is they say is, "How you getting on?" They don't say, "How you doing?" Whatever. Oh, I suppose they do, but they say, "How you getting on?" Yeah, so basically I'm a local. Okay, see what I'm doing here? Now, we're going to try to decide if I want to stick this down and then do, I think I am. I think I'm going, let's pop it up. Sure, why not? I didn't think this part of the card through. Get my dimensionals. And yeah, so as far as if you're going to Ireland, the weather, I can't imagine what it would be like in the wintertime. Lance and I bought sweaters from an Aran market. Aran is just the type of wool. Oh, sorry, Aran Islands, which is Inishmore. There's 3 islands. Aran Islands, they call them. Inishmore is the big island. And anyway, so we bought sweaters. Like I don't know if it's gonna get cold enough here to wear the sweater, but I love it. You'll see, it's pink. But in the summertime, when we went in July, it was like fall weather for us. So I took 2 pairs of sandals, I took capris, t-shirts. I wore none of my sandals. I wore none of my capris or shorts. I wore my Lululemon pants and my jeans always, and a t-shirt. And then I had, you may notice in my photos, I have, I'm always wearing the same sweater because I only brought one sweater. I wasn't prepared for there to be as much coolness as there was. All right, let's deal with this house. So they're not kidding when they say the layers. I'm happy with my house here, just sidebar. So now we're gonna do a couple things. You could probably do this a few different ways. I'm gonna do it this way. Let's glue it down first, actually. Who am I kidding? I'm never getting it back if I don't glue it first. So just less is more. If you're using a good good adhesive, less is more. I'm intentionally putting this part of the house off. Like you could do this, but I'm putting it off to the side a bit, and I'm leaving room for my bit here. And I want this to show at the bottom. You get what I'm doing. You get it. It was 23 hours to get home, so that super sucked. So now we're gonna fill in some of the space for this house. Optional how you would like to do this. You could put pieces of cardstock in behind there if you wish. So these are the blender pens with, they've got two tips. And this makes it look like there's light coming from there. Hey, it's coming together. So I'm gonna start with light Calypso Coral. And I'm gonna do the pen tip. And so I'm gonna do the whole piece. Just coloring. And because this cardstock is black, if I'm hitting the side of the cardstock, it doesn't really matter because you can't see it in the black, you know? Look how cool that is. It just comes right together. Give me a thumbs up if you dig it. So now I'm gonna add a highlight. So I just want as if shadows, that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So choose which side your shadow is gonna go on, and then you're just adding. Optional, but it just adds some interest to the coloring, you know? You could go back over with the light and kind of layer with the colors. I don't want to get that fancy today. I just want to just coloring. It looks dark and I'm waiting for it to dry. That's it. So what are you guys up to this weekend? What's happening? This is Dark Lemon Lolly. Oh, I said Daffodil Delight. I lied to you. Uh-oh. The Roomba is coming. Hopefully it's not too loud. Really, Roomba? Okay, so that's that so far. Let's get our sentiment on here. So I'm gonna just pop up the one side because this is popped. So here, and then add a bit of glue to the other side. I made some notes. Hang on one second. Roomba is too loud. I made some notes that I'm gonna post about just information about Ireland. If you are planning on going, then maybe it might be some helpful hints for your planning, similar to how I did for Italy. Maybe 2 is enough. Anybody thinking they might go to Ireland one day? I think Galway was my favorite of all the stops. And my favorite thing to do when there, besides oohing and awing at the scenery, is going to the pub. It's a steady diet of beer and fried food. Not gonna lie. The ice cream, oh my gosh, dairy. Butter, well, there's a place called Dairy, D-E-R-R-Y, but Dairy, D-A-I-R-Y. Oh my goodness. Like insanely delish. I don't really know what to do with this broom. Does it need a broom? It's having a broom because I've moved him over enough. No, that doesn't look right. I think it needs to go this way. The ice cream, I could just feel myself getting fatter as I ate it. It was delicious. It was amazing. It was really expensive, but worth every penny. The guys drank Guinness. We did a Guinness tour. I recommend that. I don't drink Guinness, but they did such a cool job on the tour and everything. It does taste different there than here. What do you think? Oh, we need some gems. Oh yes, Christine, going to Aussieland next month. So listen, the Time Shifter app, which now everybody's calling me a time shifter. Everybody, like in our travel group, referred to me as the Time Shifter, which I'm fine with. Here's the trick. Your first one is free, but you need to be able to kind of sleep on command. So it tells you, oh, okay, you're gonna, drink coffee or don't drink coffee or whatever. And you have to sleep at this time and don't sleep at that time. Wear sunglasses or don't wear sunglasses. Like, you'll put your information in with what's happening for you and what your sleeping pattern is and stuff. But what others noticed is that, okay, so if you don't know this about me, sleeping is my superpower. Probably because of my illnesses, I require a lot of sleep. But I could just go lie down right now and go to sleep. So when it told me, okay, time to go to sleep, like, it's not like it was a shock and I knew what the schedule was going to be. I would just put my blinders on and go to sleep. That's it. So if you can't do that, which Lance and Zach and basically everybody I was traveling with, that's not something they can do. It might be a bit tricky, but the hours that they have you going, getting up and going to sleep and that kind of stuff, you're pretty tired because you're getting up at some crazy time in the day. Anyways, they have a time shifter version of the app for shift workers. When Lance worked shift work, I wondered if that would have been helpful. Anyways, legal drinking age, it's not 17. Zachary couldn't drink, not that he would do that, but he doesn't seem to be interested. 18 maybe? Okay, I should have stamped before, but I don't want to leave it naked. Nailed it. All right, what else is in here that I can add? I'm going to do this little pumpkin because he's adorable. So I'm carrying through the theme of the green, that's intentional. Where's my black? So Zach could come into the pubs and he would drink Fanta. He loves his Fanta. So the other thing at the pubs that I really enjoyed is the band. So what's funny is that they're not scheduled. So pubs will say, oh, live music every night at whatever, 7 o'clock or whatever time. It's not scheduled. They don't know who's coming. They just know that somebody will show up. Somebody will show up with their instrument and play. Isn't that funny? So they're not paid. I don't think they're paid. And they just come and they play, and the pub feeds them beer or whatever they're drinking, and they play. And they don't necessarily know who they're playing with, although the music community is alive and well. And they just play. I do have a few videos that I want to share. I'm not really happy with the yellow, so I'm just gonna go rogue here and color this Calypso Coral. Pumpkins should be brown or orange. Tanya, And so there was one pub that we went into. This woman had an entire harp, like legit, probably 6 feet tall and maybe 4 foot. Like it was a harp. It was a legit harp. I've never seen anything like it. It was so cool. Fiddles. There was this one guy who tried to tell me there was this weird, anyways, this contraption, this musical instrument. He tried to explain to me what it was, but we were in the pub. He was very Irish, and honestly, I couldn't understand a damn thing he said. However, he was very passionate, and I loved listening to him, even though I couldn't really understand what he was saying. He just, you could feel his energy for just being there and having fun. All right, we're coming to an end. Oh, I'm going to show you actually the projects for today's craft and chat. So there's our project. What do you think? Thumbs up? Yes? This could have been achieved with just the designer series paper. And then if you had some other similar stamps, you probably have leftover Halloween stuff in your stash. So it's a good option. All right, let me just do a roadie with you. So the pubs, the ice cream, the butter, oh my gosh, the butter, and the potatoes, Irish stew. I got some Guinness Irish stew mix from the Guinness place. And so here's the projects for today. So there's 5 ladies. The one that we did today is going to be the last one. Oh, my pantry's open, so you see all of our food. So here's this one. This is a fun fold. I went over these earlier this week in a video, but we'll just go over them again in case you missed it. So this is only designer series paper. So here's an example of, I did not buy the stamp or the dies. These are fussy cut from the designer series paper. And then these, what's the stamp set called? Peace on Earth. This is a new online exclusive. And these dove wings, they pop out. And then this one has some fun stuff going on. So embossed, die cut, embossed again, and then we're using the white ink like to go over the front to hit the highlights of the embossed piece to get that look. And then this is some 2-step stamping. And then we've got our little brass butterflies. So that's that. So if you want to join the Craft and Chats for Saturday of every month, next one will be September 2nd, maybe, whatever the first Saturday is in the month. It's my birthday in September, so maybe I'll have a little something extra for my birthday month. But I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I am so happy to be back. There's lots of specials and stuff happening on the Stampin' Up! Website. If you're interested, you can check that out. Newsletter will come out tomorrow with the measurements and some other stuff, a PDF download tutorial. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a wonderful Saturday, and we'll see you next Saturday for more crafting. Bye for now.